Welcome back. Today we're going to talk about the victim, perpetrator, rescuer triangle. What am I talking about? Well, inside of all of us, sometimes we feel like the victim. Sometimes we feel like we want to judge other people. And sometimes we're like, oh, I just want to help him out. He just needs the love of a beautiful woman. Just kidding. Or kind of. So, all of us, in some way or another, were victimized as children. Maybe it was just life. Maybe we had an abusive parent, a judgmental parent, a withholding parent. Maybe we had bullies that bullied us. Whatever the case may be, something happened in some way or another that made us feel victimized. Now, that little part of us, maybe they were 3, maybe they were 7, is still going through that. To think of like, if there's not really time, you're sitting listening to this is probably your adult self. But inside of you, there's a little 3-year-old, a 7-year-old, and they're still kind of going through that. They're locked in time, going through this situation and feeling all of those feelings over and over and over. The victim is still alive in your subconscious and your consciousness. Now, you were victimized, as I mentioned, by either a perpetrator or a judge. So a perpetrator, maybe is the bully making fun of you, throwing rocks at you. Maybe it's your dad coming home drunk and smacking you. Or we were victimized by a judge. What's wrong with you? Why would you do that? Why are your grades, why didn't you get straight A's? Whatever it is, right? They make us not feel good enough. They make us feel rejected, emotionally abandoned. So at some point, imagine you're like upside down triangle, right? So you've got the victim here, and then you've got the perpetrator or the judge in one corner, and then you've got the rescuer in the other corner. Okay. At some point, we step into the role of the judge or the perpetrator. What do I mean by that? Well, if we were judged for being lazy, well, if I'm lazy, what about him? What about you, right? If I'm fat, look at her, right? So we kind of start taking on those traits, those tapes in our mind of how our parents talk to us become our own tapes. And we start judging other people by the same standards and judging their shortcomings the way that we were judged. But for every judgment that we have of other people, guess what? Who are we the hardest on? Ourselves. We keep telling ourselves the same things that our parents told us. I'm no good. I'm stupid. I'm fat. I'm worthless. I'm blah, 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 right? And we don't need them around to do it anymore. It becomes an inside job. We become our own judge. We beat ourselves up. We become our own perpetrator, whether that's being the perfectionist, negative self-talk, whatever the case may be. So then we've got this sneaky little part, this very, I would say it's the most deeply unconscious part, is the rescuer. So it's the part of us that is still feeling all the pain of that wounded child. It's the part of us that, really is still just wishing somebody would come along and rescue us. Somebody would come along and make it all better, to tell us that you are good enough, you are loved, to comfort us, to care for us. But we dissociate that so much because it feels like weakness, it feels like vulnerability. I don't even have words really to describe it, but it's deeply buried inside of us. So we tend to project that rescuer part of us, the part that's actually wanting to be rescued, onto others. So the codependent relationship, the person working for a rehab but still using. You want to save the world, save the whales, right? Anytime it gets triggered, this rescuer part of us, excuse me, gets triggered anytime we see pain in the world, right? It feels, I'm not saying we should be numb to other people's suffering. Of course, we need to have empathy. But sometimes we can get really personally triggered by other people's pain because it's plucking that string of our own pain. So then we want to just help them and rescue them. But so then we can get in these relationships, right, where we kind of go round and round the rosemary bush, okay? They yell at us, they say something mean, we feel like the victim, right? Then we get angry because they're being a jerk, or maybe they're not, they're drinking their paycheck away, or they're being lazy too. We step into the judge and the perpetrator. We yell at them. We judge them, right? And then now they're broken. They're feeling sad. They're hurt. And the rescuer comes out and we just want to love them and we can't stand to see them suffer. But the next thing you know, they say something snarky and we go just round the whole cycle. I'm sure you've at least seen these relationship dynamics if you're not living it now, okay? And it's just a never-ending, awful, terrible cycle. And of course, the only way out is in. And to really, I feel like the linchpin, the most powerful work is to go in and heal that wounded inner child inside of you. Because when you heal that part of you, so much happens. First of all, the pain of that wound goes away because you literally heal it. It's super powerful. Second of all of the negative self-talk, the negative messaging that came out of that incident, out of that negative memory, out of that trauma goes away, is rewritten, it's neutralized. So your own negative self-talk can kind of just go away. So if it's your negative self-talk goes away, guess what? You don't have as much tendency to be judging other people, right? That whole tape is deleted. So your pain goes away, your negative self-talk, judgment, perpetrator in you goes away, and then that hyperactive need to rescue others can also be a bit neutralized. Now, like I said, it's not that we don't want to have empathy. It's not that we don't want to care, but we don't want it to be coming from this place of needing to be a savior or a rescuer, because it's not in balance. It's sometimes then we're enabling because we can't stand to see their pain, when sometimes people need to go through pain as their wake-up call, right? I'm sure you've heard this and know this. So being balanced, healed, not beating up on yourself, not feeling wounded and sad inside, and then not having to just keep going back and forth in this cycle, breaking free to be healthy, whole, and balanced. And actually, instead of like getting just triggered and defending yourself when somebody judges you, because they've got their own little judge and perpetrator inside of them, right? And you say, oh, okay, well, thanks for your opinion. Would you like to hear mine? Right? You don't have to defend it. It's just an opinion. It's just their tapes in their mind from their childhood that they're, now pushing onto you. Doesn't necessarily mean it has any truth to it at all. Maybe it does. But you have an opinion about that, and you can stay calm, and you don't have to defend yourself, get triggered. You can actually just think about it and go, yeah, well, that's your opinion. Would you like to hear my opinion? Right? You can start to be a real adult. Oh my God. Not just a reactive machine, but a real adult. So I love this one interpretation of the word responsibility. You have the response ability, the ability to respond in a different way. Okay. So hope that was helpful. If you have anything that you'd like me to do a video on, please leave it in the comments. And I'd love to see you over at my school where we can just have a more personal touch and really dig in deep to some of these issues and topics. And I'll leave a link for that below.